Hey, sixth graders! I am super excited because we are getting started with our unit on ocean, atmosphere, and climate. So, in this unit, you will see this acronym OAC. That just stands for Ocean, Atmosphere, and Climate. And it's just a good way to shorten it because that's a really long kind of term. So, today we're going to be able to recognize the important elements of climate, and we'll be able to explain what climate is. So you may be thinking to yourself, okay, Miss Klug, we got it, temperature. We've been talking about this a little bit now, so we talked about it when we were talking about El Nino in the previous lesson. And I just want to remind you that temperature, we can be talking about a lot of different things when we're talking about temperature. We can talking about how cold it is outside, how hot it is outside. We could talk about what's the temperature in our classroom, so looking at a thermostat. We could be talking about, oh, I don't feel well, I need to take my temperature, right? So do I have a fever? Do I need to take my temperature with a thermometer or put one in my mouth, depending on how you take your temperature? So when we talk about temperature, we're talking about all of these things. We can be talking about how hot or how cold something is. So we're trying to figure out what determines the air temperature of a place. And we looked at these three places and looked at the effects of El Nino in Los Angeles, California, in Colombia, and in Pakistan in our previous lesson. So we are just going to continue to look and compare different places and compare different temperatures in order to better understand what is going on with temperature and why it's different in different places. So we are not going to watch this video right now. I will post this in your lesson so you can click on it and watch it. It's about 4 minutes and you'll be able to look at that through your lesson assignment. Today, we're going to really look at climate, right? Our learning goal was we're going to be able to describe and define climate. So climate is a general weather pattern that happens over a long period of time. So it's not the weather that's happening outside right now. It's not, hey, it's super cold outside, Miss Klug, or it's going to be hot in the summer. We're looking at patterns over a really long period of time. So if you look at this, we can see that this is happening over years and years, and really looking at what's happening to our weather, to the things that are happening outside in the current moment. Is it raining? Is it snowing? Is it cold? Is it hot? But what's happening over a long period of time in larger groups. So climate scientists or climatologists, they're people who study these weather patterns, and they study them. They look at the average temperature over the long periods of time and not just that day to day. So we really think about looking at that as graphs. So we'll do some graphing with this throughout the unit, and we'll look at this. So we're not just looking at what's happening today, but what's happening over a really long period of time. So we are going to be working as student climatologists for this unit, and we got this email from New Zealand. So it says, I am the director of the New Zealand Farm Council. Our organization represents farmers in the area surrounding Christchurch. Every few years, we notice climate changes that affect the crops. During El Nino years, the air temperature is much cooler than usual, and we would like to learn why. So the farmers are better prepared for these temperature changes. We are asking you, our student climatologist, to conduct some research on what determines Christchurch air temperature, especially why it decreases during El Nino. Looking forward to working with you and hearing what you find out. So we are really going to be studying these questions throughout our unit, and we're going to be answering this email here at the end throughout our lesson and working towards that. So we really need to figure out, we're trying to figure out why the air temperature is much cooler than usual. They want to know why. We learned about droughts. So the farmers, the droughts really affect them. So they want to know so they can prepare for these temperature changes. So we are going to really do all of this research here throughout our unit. All right. So climatologists expect particular locations to stay mostly the same, and when they get data that's not really expected or not really the same, that's not part of the pattern that we're looking at, it really leads them to ask questions, just like we should be asking questions when things don't seem right. So we think about, hey, why is this different, or why is this unusual? And they start asking questions and they begin investigating and really trying to figure out why something is different, especially when that's how we got El Nino. So we are going to be studying Christchurch, New Zealand, and we are wondering why during El Nino years the air temperature is cooler than usual. Here's some images of Christchurch, New Zealand. It is a country that is in the Southwest Pacific, the ocean. It's near Australia, right here. So to do that, we need to learn more about what we're looking for in order to study this, right? We need to identify what are the key points in order to learn about this. So we know that Earth's atmosphere is divided up into different layers, and we are really going to be looking at that layer that is closest to the ground. So right down here, we're going to be looking at this layer of the atmosphere when we're studying the temperature in this unit. We are going to, so again, this is a picture of Christchurch, and we're going to be studying this air right here that is directly above Christchurch right above the surface. So during El Nino years, why is Christchurch air cooler than usual? Claim number 1 that we're going to be researching is the amount of incoming energy from the sun changes. Claim number 2, something about Earth's surface, land or water changes, or something about the air changes. Remember that when we have these 3 claims, when we're thinking about our claim, our evidence, and our reasoning, we are looking at which claim do we agree with, right? Do we agree with claim 1, claim 2, or claim 3? And then what evidence do we have that supports each of these claims? So we're going to be looking for evidence. To support these claims. And then we're going to use our evidence to come up with some sort of reasoning. All right, so that is what we have for this lesson. I hope that you enjoy getting a little bit of research here on this lesson and New Zealand. And in our next lesson, we are going to be doing some hands-on investigation, trying to learn more about these air temperatures. And remember, today is a great day to learn. Happy learning!